If a story can make me cry, it says a certain amount about its quality. It means the characters are well enough developed that I care about them, and that the storytelling is good enough for me to be invested. There aren't many short stories that have achieved this distinction, and today I have the pleasure of reviewing one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present InvertMouse's The Last Birdling. The Last Birdling has the fanciful feel of a fairy tale to it, but not a Disney-style one with a happily ever after and all that jazz. Rather, it feels much more similar to a Brothers Grimm version, where the witch gets roast in her own oven, or the stepsisters get their eyes poked out. In it, we follow two girls, Tayo, a human from a rural village, and Bemonia, one of the last remaining birdlings that wasn't wiped out in a genocide. Yeah, as I said before, just a bit dark. Anyways, the two of them meet in a forest outside the village and become best friends. Then, we get a sort of Romeo and Juliet story, except with two disapproving mothers instead of two noble houses, and a decidedly Yuri twist. Beyond that, well, this actually does a whole bunch given its length. There's a survival section with a bit of action, some really heartwarming family moments, and also some moments of gut-wrenching despair. I was really surprised when I finished playing it and saw that it had only taken 4 hours, because it felt like I'd gone through a lot more. So as I mentioned before, the two main characters are Tayo and Bemonia, and as we progress through the story we go back and forth between their two perspectives. Tayo, who is probably a tween at the start of the story, is a bit angsty and isolated from the other children her age, but nonetheless is quite kind. And Bemonia, who's younger, is innocent and curious. Both are naive about how the world works, and both hold their mothers as the central figures in their life before meeting each other. Their mothers, Lulu, I hope that's the right number of Lus, and Irene, are both strong and stubborn, while also caring very deeply for their daughters. I'm sure when this was written, InvertMouse's main goal was to make us feel for the relationship between the two girls, but I found the relationship they have with their mothers is just as meaningful. Watching Irene and Lulu trying to care for their daughters the best they can while also being unsure about their own actions makes for some of the most heartfelt parts of the story. Now, other than that, there's one other character worth mentioning, which is V. V is the cutest character ever written. Period. That's all I have to say. Moving on. The Last Birdling looks gorgeous and sounds gorgeous. The soundtrack, which you will have been hearing in the background of this video, fits the tone of the scenes perfectly and is good enough that I've continued listening to it after finishing the game. The artwork is similarly well done. The character designs and background art are consistently high quality, and the little animations added in here and there really add to the character of the game. I do have a couple complaints though. First of all, it would have been really nice to have some voice acting. And secondly, the wings. Why are the wings so high up? They look like an extension of the hair. Seriously, are the wings attached to their head? I know it's not a big deal, but that really bugged me. As for the writing and the story, well, the story starts off with a bit of a slow pace, but it is great the rest of the way through, especially in the second half of the story, which really takes you through a roller coaster ride of emotions. There's a couple of unexpected plot twists, one of which you can see coming a mile away, but still went down in an unexpected way, and another that was entirely unexpected. I also quite like the approach InvertMouse took with the choice system in this game. Each choice you make can give a point to Tayo or Bemonia, and depending on the number of points each character has, you'll get a different ending. All of this is displayed too, making it fairly straightforward to figure out how to get each ending. I appreciate not having to go to an online guide for the endings, and I really wish more visual novels would do the same thing. As for the endings themselves, well, 2 of them I thought were bloody brilliant. 2 of them were bad ends, and 1 left me with some deep reservations and unsure quite how to feel. All were well enough done that they were worth reading. So, in summary, would I recommend reading The Last Birdling? Well, its writing isn't quite at the same level as something like Planetarian or Harmonia, but its storytelling is. And its music and art, except for the wings, also stand it in good stead. Its fairy tale vibe and lack of explicit anime tropes set it apart from most other VNs I've read, and it did make me cry. Personally, I quite enjoyed reading it, and would recommend it with a caveat that you're over the age of 18 and don't mind things getting a bit dark. If you've already read this and are looking for something similar, I would recommend the aforementioned Planetarian, another great short VN. Or Cursed Sight, an earlier VN by InvertMouse with a similar setting. Anyways, thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed the review. Cheers!